Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today is going to be another fix-it video, another video where I try to repair something that's faulty. Now, I bought this off eBay in a job lot with some other toys. You might remember, if you see my truck video, that I was unsuccessful in fixing that particular one. This is a little RC buggy. Oh, right, okay, looks like a very basic one. It must be just forward. You know, it must be one of the ones that go forward, then when you press the button it reverses and turns, forward, reverses and turns. So there's going to be little range of movement on it. Yeah, it's one of those ones. But still, it doesn't mean that the fix won't be interesting. Right, well that doesn't appear to be connected to anything. Let me show you the listing. So I don't really know what I paid for this because I bought a job lot and the whole job lot cost me £50 plus £8.99 postage, but I got a few items in it. There you go, you can see the little car there. Now as far as the car's concerned, it says small RC car made intermittent motor noise but the wheels didn't turn. Couldn't get any response from the car when using the controller. So let's pop some batteries in and let's see what's happening with this. Definitely corrosion on the terminals here. Let's turn that off. Yeah, there is response. I think, hold on. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's too much of a coincidence. When I press this hard, it does sometimes work, but not other times. Okay, let's take this thing apart and see if we can see what's wrong with it. So here we have it, and these ones are really simple. Basically, they don't have any steering. When it goes forward, it goes forward. Now watch, when it goes back, can you see the wheels automatically turn? So to get around anything, you've got to keep going forward and back, and then eventually you will get round. So really they are rubbish, but still it doesn't it's no harm. Take it apart, have a look at it, and the inside of it might be interesting. So if the motor's turning and the wheels are not, again it's going to be a gearbox problem, and the chances are the gears are just going to be made out of plastic. Well, they are 100% going to be made out of plastic because it's cheap. And some of them are going to be stripped or misaligned. So realistically, unless it's kind of obvious, unless one of them's popped off, which is unlikely, it's not going to be really fixable. Right, that goes up to here and here. Oh look, this must have some sort of lights. What would I have these for? Look, oh, that makes it slightly more interesting. I don't remember lights coming on here. Let me pop the batteries in. And there's two wires going to each, so what else could it be? This is the aerial here. Must be some sort of lights or something. Oh, well, that makes it slightly more enjoyable. Let's just see if they come on. Maybe they come on every time you go into reverse or something like that. No, oh, there we go. There, look. Okay. Well, that's what they are. This is by no means consistent. It really does. I can see what the seller meant, because if you only left it on for a few seconds you would think it is unresponsive, and then it's responsive, and then it's unresponsive, and it's responsive, and then it's unresponsive. Right, so there are lights there. Not very much to this whatsoever, is there? Just this one little board here. remember seeing them when I was young. I bet you this is from the 1980s. I reckon this is late 1980s. So if I've seen them before, that makes me think that maybe that's the thing that actually does the transmitting. Sorry, the receiving, possibly. Not sure. In fact, it is, isn't it? Because one of the legs is going to here, which is going to the aerial, or the antenna. Right, so yeah, that looks okay. I'm going to put a screw back in there because I can't see anything really wrong with this. Slightly worrying that it's not consistent. You think it would be... I know that it's got a gearbox fault, but obviously there's some other fault with it as well, isn't there? Because it's not consistently doing anything, unless we've got a problem in here. Or maybe some of those corrosions, maybe one of the batteries, I mean, maybe you could work it out from here, but maybe one of the batteries is for the actual transmitting and receiving, and then, or two of them, and maybe two of the batteries are for the motor. In which case that would sort of make sense, because if there's corrosion on the terminals, then it might be purely affecting the transmitting and the receiving. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to get this out unless I try to knock this pin all the way through. I wonder, can I knock that pin through? Right, so that's the motor there, looks very clean. That looks good. I wonder, can I just pull... Yeah, I'll be able to pull those out using just pressure. There we go. Right, now that will give me access to here. Take off the suspension. Looks like the whole thing's coming off, but that will be okay because I'll leave it at that for the moment, so I will be able to get the screwdriver in here now. Right, so we know the motor's working. So am I going to be able to do this without taking that pin out? I'm not, am I? I'm still going to have to take that pin out, which is a shame. Wonder will I be able to knock that through? This thing here, you see, I don't know, do you knock it through that way or this way, or is it glued into position? Let me try to lever it a little bit. Yeah, I can knock it through. Excellent. Let me get some pliers. Should be able to just pull this through now. And here it comes. There we go. Right, so this is free for me to work on, so I don't have to worry about this. Right, very simple. Now, very simple. So we've got this here. Let's see what's happening. That goes through to there. Goes through to there, so we've got two. Well, nothing looks broken at all, so that says to me that maybe they just got misaligned. So the motor goes through here, so this little one has to be on the motor here. This one is going to be here, like so. Surely that hasn't got to line up with that, because that needs to be absolutely perfect. It's too thin. That must have just worked its way. That must have just come loose. Can you see here? Because it's so thin, it needs to be absolutely perfect. I don't know now where all these were supposed to go. Might be hard for me to line them up. Let's have a think. This is going to need to go all the way down here. Let's get rid of this for a minute. I can actually see that there's one broken tooth here. I don't think that would make a difference. I'm just trying to work out how this actually is supposed to line itself up. Right, so it looks like the wheels push right up against it, so that's useful to know. So there's no axle showing. So I should be able to get this sorted now. So that has to go that way round. That's the only way it can go, because otherwise it doesn't reach. So if that goes that way, it means Right, so I think it's going to be like that. So now if I push this one all the way up to here, then that should keep that one in place. Like so. That might be it. That might be it. So I've got that one against there, that's against there. I'm going to line that up to there. Put this in. We should be able to just get that through. And that's spinning there, okay. Put a couple of screws in to hold it together. See the gearbox is broken here. Let's loosen that up and we can put a little bit of plastic weld on that. Yeah. Now put this back on the motor. Right, I'm going to put a bit of plastic weld on that because that doesn't feel very tight either. Let's just see if it's going to work. That sounds better. Let's just put some batteries in it, see what it does. Yeah, that's going round. Yeah. But it's still not responded to the controller, but that could be just to do with the bad connections in here. Let's finish off the gearbox anyway. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the end here, because otherwise I think this is just going to keep moving around the place. Hopefully we'll just give it a little helping hand to stay in the same spot. Oh, I've noticed why it's so loose. There you go. It's a cracked gear. Can you see there? In that one there, you can just see the metal through it. Right, I'll try to add a tiny little bit of glue into the middle there. I'll have to flatten it down, otherwise it's just going to keep skipping on that bit, isn't it? That should do it. Right, hopefully that will help it. Now I'm going to get some grease and I'm going to put it on the gear in here and then turn it, and then it's going to work its way down to the other gear. So I'm just going to do that a few times, and then that's the same as putting the grease all over the gear. It's a very cheap toy with very thin gears, so the chances are it's going to probably pop off again. There doesn't seem to be really that big a gear, would need to be thicker to allow a little bit of play. Put some on here as well. That's the grease I'm using. Had a bit of plastic weld in here, this UV glue. Okay. Let's slip the suspension back on. Okay, now we can put this pin back through. Right, now let's try to clean up these battery contacts and see if the controller then responds. Now I'm just going to scrape them with this. I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not overly fussed about this toy because it's not worth anything. I don't want to spend hours on it. Just going to use a bit of IPA to clean it up. Well, I've cleaned them up now. They're not perfect, but they're not far off. Pretty sure that should be okay. Now I am going to get some good batteries just in case, these batteries, because these are all a mixed match of old batteries and new batteries. So I'm just going to start with brand new batteries that I know 100%. Right, let's see if it responds now. Yes. Hey! Perfect. Right, let's finish off putting it back together. So that's all in there, that all looks fine, that just goes through there. So I just need to do these little screws up here. I know it's not a good toy, but it's still nice to see it work again, isn't it? Well, I think it is anyway. And that's the whole thing about these videos. It's not always about having to have something that's really expensive. It's more the joy of fixing it rather than the, you know, fixing something that's like £500 worth. You can get quite a bit of pleasure just from something that's even worthless, really. Don't know what this has been going through. I think it might be just where the polystyrene has been having some kind of reaction with the tyres, maybe. Oh yeah, there we go, the lights coming on. Yes, they are, nice and strong. Right, let's take this down to the kitchen, where we've got a bit of room, and let's see how well it works. Let's straighten up this area as well. Okay, the dishwasher's on, so it's a little bit noisy. Here we go. Pretty slow. At least the lights come on when it goes forward. Ooh. Oh, actually that tyre's wrong. Sort out that tyre. I haven't put them on properly. There we go, that'll make it a little bit smoother. I definitely had something similar when I was younger, but this one looks newer. I don't know if this would be from the 80s, it might be the 90s, but just a cheap one. It works perfectly. Right, let's turn the lights off so you can see these little lights in all their glory. There we go. Takes ages to turn around. There we go. Right, so that's it for this video. Believe it or not, I quite enjoyed doing that. You could tell I was rushing through it, but it was just dirty contacts. Turn it off. There we go. So this is what I believe it was. I believe it was 100% the gearbox thing, the little thing had come off, probably due to the fact that it had a slight break on it, so it probably just worked its way loose. Either that, or maybe these wheels got a bit of a pull and pulled the bottom ones out. Remember, I couldn't see the exact problem because I'd taken it apart and I just put it back together correctly. Well, I hope it was correct. And I believe the reason it wasn't responding properly was because of the corrosion on here. Now, I've seen quite a few wires going off to the on and off switch, which, I mean, I didn't spend any time on it, but what I think is that maybe 2 or 3 of the batteries are purely for the motor, and then 1 of the batteries, or possibly 2 of the batteries, are going to be for the receiver, because this is the transmitter. And if there was a bit of corrosion on there, it would have caused a bad connection, and that's why sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't work. So that's what I think anyway. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more trying to fix videos in the future. So that's it. Take care now. See you later.